Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean, Stacking the Money Green. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Hit me up in the Betting Pros Discord. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE150 and get a $1,000 risk-free bet. Man, that sounds awesome. And hey, risk-free bets, perfect way to get down in the Hall of Fame game. That's right, the countdown is over. Today is the day for the Hall of Fame game. So jacked, so excited, ready to run through a brick wall. If you've never been to the Hall of Fame, first off, shout out to the Hall of Fame. It's an awesome, you think like, oh, museum, hey, it's going to be boring, but it's a football museum. It's got like, Madden stuff. It's all these old cool footballs, the bus, it's really awesome. So again, definitely worth making the pilgrimage out there one day. So highly recommend checking that out. All right. Recap yesterday's picks, get to today's picks. I got a play on the side and the total for the Hall of Fame game, and then pepper in a little MLB player prop there as well. All right, coming off a 2-1 day, I'll take that. Up 0.7 units. Recap there, I had the Mets-Yankees moneyline parlay. Of course, that got cooked. Mets won. Yankees did not bounce back. Lost 2 in a row now to the Mariners. Gave up 6 in the first, and obviously that was pretty much a done deal, a.k.a. over. When that happened. Derek Hall, over a half total bases. Again, shout out to the Betting Pros player prop cheat sheet. That was what turned me on to that play. He got a hit, so 1 for 3 against the Braves there. Phil's got the win. We got the over half total bases. Cash that at minus 125. And then the sweat of all sweats. This is a perfect scenario for me as a gambler, right? Because the Atlanta Dream, they lay an 8.5. They go up huge against the Indiana Fever. I think they're winning by 28 points at halftime. Completely blow it in the third quarter. They lose the third quarter by 15 points. And then the fourth quarter, they're losing the fourth quarter as well. It was a sweat of all sweats. I was feeling the juice, if you know what I mean. And again, this is why I got into the business, to sweat out WNBA action on a Wednesday afternoon, and obviously to win. That's always the icing on the cake, but sweated that out, minus 8.5. Man, they really, they really should have just pulled away, but Fever made it a game. I saw some people in the Discord had it at 9.5, so I'm even jealous because they got a little extra sweat, but they won by 10, got the win, got the cover. A shout out to the Dream. Thank you guys for helping us win that. Changing gears, we are talking NFL football, and what better giveaway for NFL football than an autographed Brian Dawkins jersey? I mean, this guy just epitomizes NFL football, even as a biased Eagles fan. Even if you're not an Eagles fan, you got to appreciate Brian Dawkins. If you like football, you like Brian Dawkins, you can get an autographed Brian Dawkins jersey. All you got to do is subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, comment on this very video, automatically entered to win the autographed Brian Dawkins jersey, courtesy of our good buddies over at Pristine Auction. All right, so when we're looking to handicap NFL preseason, I've been mentioning this a little bit. It comes down to coaches, right? Coaches decide whether or not they care about NFL preseason, and that really that's the indicator of which side you should be betting on for the most part. We'll dive into some other factors, but start with the coaches when handicapping the NFL preseason. And also some teams seem to be hot or cold with how much, how hard to try in the NFL preseason. I got a nice little nugget here. Shout out to Matt Friedman, director of content over at Yes Fantasy Pros. If you're not following Matt Friedman and you're listening to the show, I don't know what you're doing. He tweets out a ton of great nuggets, obviously a ton of great fantasy stuff and betting stuff as well. He did the research on it. Hard Knocks teams are 21-31 against the spread and 17-34-1 to the over. So unders and not covering for the Hard Knocks teams. Of course, that's the Detroit Lions this year, so looking to fade them. Also, the Baltimore Ravens, John Harbaugh, 20-0 straight up his last 20 preseason games, 17-2-1 ATS on those. So if you want to get the Ravens bet in early, you might want to do that because I'm sure I will be on them week 1 next week, and I have a feeling the line will be shifting. So if you want to get ahead of that, not a bad idea there. All right. First play on the Hall of Fame game. Again, alluded it with the Hard Knocks teams, but all unders, especially early in the preseason game. This Hall of Fame game, it opened at 32.5. Hopefully, if you guys, again, hit me up if you're getting down in preseason NFL or anything. I'm always down to spitball stuff, but it's moved down to 30.5 over at BetMGM. That's the highest one I found. I like it. Obviously, if you can find a 31 between now and when you bet it, that's a little bit more breathing room. But again, like the under, both teams have new head coaches, and the issue there is you're installing a new offense, right? And the defense is always ahead of the offense, especially early in preseason. I mean, these teams have had I know they get the extra week if you have the Hall of Fame game, but still maybe 5 padded practices at most, with the rules and stuff, with the new CBA, it's really hard to get in good work and get that crisp offense that can take advantage of defenses. So I think they're going to be in trouble, both offenses. Love the under 30.5 over at BetMGM. Again, you're just looking at the last 9 games. Here are some of the total points: 19, 24, 33, 38, 17, 30, 44, 27, 23. So 7-3 there, I think, on the under. No, sorry, that would be 6-3. Just realized I said 9 games and 7-3 is 10. So 6-3 on the under 30.5. Love that as well. And it being the Hall of Fame game, we got to have a take on the side. Raiders, Jags. I'm taking the Jags money line, plus 120 over on DraftKings. Again, looking at these two head coaches, Doug Peterson, 8-8 in preseason games. Josh McDaniels, 2-6 in preseason games. But I think even looking at it a little bit closer, Doug Peterson came in his first year coaching the Philadelphia Eagles. He went 4-0 in the preseason. Why? Because he was trying to clear the slate. Chip Kelly kind of poisoned the culture well in Philadelphia there. They ran him out of town. Similar, Urban Meyer, a more extreme version, and obviously a much, much worse NFL head coach than even Chip Kelly. But I think he's looking for a fresh start for this team. I think he's looking to get a win in this game. I think, as silly as it sounds, I think this game kind of matters a little bit more for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You look at the Las Vegas Raiders, they didn't completely bottom out. That team got to the NFL playoffs. The reason they have a new head coach is because of John Gruden and that whole email scandal. So again, it wasn't like this whole, and certainly there are some culture issues there, but McDaniels, he's coming in there. 2-6 in preseason. I don't think he's going to be pushing that hard for the Raiders to win this game. I think a Jags win could kind of mean something for this team. And you look at Trevor Lawrence won't be playing. I'd be surprised if we see Derek Carr as well. Looking at some of the backup quarterbacks, Kyle Sloter, if you're not familiar with him from the USFL, he is a preseason god. This is from one of his stints with the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is, I think it's over, might have been a couple years. These are his preseason stats: 111 and 150, so 74% completion percentage, 1,222 yards, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception for Kyle Sloter and his preseason numbers. I remember listening to a Vikings game once, and even the announcers like, Sloter Saturdays. This guy always got a ton of preseason buzz, just never could put it together. And he just played a full season in the USFL. So compared to the backup quarterbacks of the Raiders, I think he's going to look way, way sharper. Someone else you want to keep an eye on, Snoop Connor for the Jags. He's getting a bunch of hype. I could see him getting involved if you're degenerate enough to be playing some DFS showdown slates. I would look to maybe toss in Snoop Connor. And if I do see a first touchdown play, I will toss it in the bettingpros.com/Discord there. Those numbers aren't out for obvious reasons. People still trying to figure out who's going to be playing. So, first touchdown will be going on in the Discord. Hey, have you guys signed up for the Betting Pros Pick Tracker app? You should. bettingpros.com/pick-tracking. Sync all your bets. Very easy to do. You just log in with your sports books. You're synced up and you're ready to go. You don't have to manually keep track of where you have your bets, what you're betting on, what are you doing well at, what are you doing horrible at. bettingpros.com/pick-tracking takes care of all that for you. All right, last pick of the day. Give me Kyle Schwarber over a half RBIs. That is plus 100 over on DraftKings. Again, am I a homer for this play? Partially, but he's going up against the Nationals. Plus, his last 8 games, he's had 7 RBIs. He's gone over the half RBI 5 out of those 8 games. That's looking pretty good. He's coming off a 0-hit game against the Braves. So I think this is a nice bounce back situation for Schwarber. And he's played really well against the Nats. In 8 games against the Nats, he's had 8 RBIs. And in those 8 games, he has 6 home runs, the most against any team he's faced. So a lot of trends, a lot of splits looking pretty good for Kyle Schwarber. Over a half RBI, plus 100 over on DraftKings. Again, I like the Jags money line. We don't need the points. Jags going to win outright, plus 120 over on DK. And, of course, the under 30.5. Get that over at BetMGM. Or if you can find a 31, obviously it's going to be a little better. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, as always, brought to you by BetMGM. Promo code JUICE150, $1,000 risk-free bet. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Again, my other show, Sports Gambling Podcast, 32 NFL team previews, about halfway through that. So that'll do it. You know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, thanks for tuning in to the Daily Juice, the official podcast of the Intelligent Degenerate.